everybody? Ethan here. I got a boot-shaped glass. Dr. Pepper in it. And actually, my mom doesn't want me drinking from this glass because this was hers as a kid, so hope she doesn't watch this video. Anyway, back to the subject. I want to talk about. I don't even know what I just said. The difference between a boy and a man. You could be 30 years old. You could be 60 years old and still be a boy. A boy isn't about age. It's not about how old you are. It's about how mature you are. You see, you can't be a man but act like a boy. Those things don't coexist. You can't have both. You can't call yourself a man but lose your temper. You can't call yourself a man but lose control over your temper. It doesn't work like that. Because a man knows how to control his temper. He knows how to stay calm in situations where some people would lose it. And that's what I'm here to talk about today. I've had anger issues myself, dealing with them my whole life. Not only that, when people would say, my mom, mainly, when she would say, just stay calm, I would think, okay, but how do I do that? Because like right now, my glass of Dr. Pepper right here, if I went to grab something and I knocked the glass over and it went all over the floor, I would get mad. I would get really mad. But now, that does no effect over the fact that my drink is all over the floor. What does affect is actually doing something about it, which in this case would be going to get a towel and cleaning up the mess. That is an actual effect, and that affects you and maybe even the people around. People around see that you know how to stay calm. And it's not just things. I don't really get that mad with people. It's when things happen like that. I get mad at myself. I get mad at the fact that just so happened to happen. But when people see that you stay calm, because I know a lot of people that get mad over stuff like that, and especially when it's really bad when they get mad at people for small stuff like that. They're walking and someone bumps into them and they start trying to fight. That's not what you should do. You should not do that. You see, I want to give you a really good example. This is a real life example that happened. See, my dad's a man. Same with my grandpa. Those are real men right there. And if you were to talk to them, you would realize that those are real men. You see, I used to go to the church up here, Baptist church. I know. And, but when I used to go up there on Wednesdays. I go to a different church now on Wednesdays, but I used to go up there on Wednesdays, and I used to get picked on by these kids. It was all the time. Every time I go up there, kids would pick on me. Once one of the kids stole my knife one time. I went to my friend about it, and I said, what should I do? I'm getting picked on by these kids. What should I do? That friend started recommending fighting moves. Started saying, if they say it again, fight them and do that. I immediately assumed that doesn't sound right. So I came to my dad. And remember what I said. My dad is a man. He knows what to do. He's been in fights, and that's the thing about a man. They've gotten mad, and that's how they've learned to control their temper. Because they got mad, and something happened that taught them that getting mad is pointless. Getting that mad, especially. So I went to my dad, and I said, what should I do about the fact that I'm getting picked on? He said, well, you have two options. deal with it and keep going to that church or go to a different church. Because the thing is, it was like 3 kids. I probably can't take on 3 kids. So, if I would have taken the friend's advice, I probably would have gotten very badly beaten that day. I would have easily lost. But because I listened to my dad's advice, I went to the Cowboy Church. I got some great friends there, and I really do love it. I managed to go there without having to deal with those kids. So now I'm going to a church that I like even better than that church, and I got to do it without getting beaten, without losing my temper. And that's the difference between a boy and a man. Is a man can control his temper and a boy can't. And like I said earlier, real men, they know how to control their temper, not because they wanted to, because they had no choice but to. They had no choice. Something happened. They got mad. They got mad 1 too many times. Something happened, and one day they just sat down with themselves and they just thought something needs to change. And actually, that thing for me was, like I said earlier, with my drink. If I spilled something, I would just lose it. I would just lose my mind and get super mad. And people started to notice. People started to realize, like, this guy has anger issues. So I started to learn. I started watching videos. Started learning from other people. Mainly my dad. My dad has anger issues, but he knows how to control them. And that's the biggest thing. Actually, like, if no one's around and something like that happens, he'll get a little mad. But he doesn't get that mad over people. When someone's saying something dumb that he doesn't agree with, he doesn't blow up on them. I know a lot of people that do that. When someone's arguing with someone, not even arguing, just talking, and they disagree with something that they say, they blow up and get mad. My dad, same with my grandpa, doesn't do that. They don't start yelling, they stay calm. They just ask, why do you think that? And that's, like I said, a boy and a man, there's a big difference. One has control, one doesn't. Like I said, it doesn't matter how old you are. You could be as old as you want, as old as you are, but still not have control over your temper. And that's what matters most about a man. It's how he can control his temper and not get super mad over something that's small. That's the biggest thing that you need to learn. Basically, I'm going to go ahead and end the video right here. Before I end it, this is what I want to say. I just want to say this last part. Be more like my dad and my grandpa. Have control of your anger. Say 3 things. Be more like my dad and my grandpa. Have control of your anger. And remember, even Jesus got mad, but he only got mad once. One time that he lost his temper. It was reasonable. When you really learn about it, it was reasonable. Jesus is the best man that walked the earth. He was a real man. Even he lost his temper one time. But one time. And it was very reasonable. It was because his disciples and a lot of people he knew wasn't listening to him. It was very reasonable. And that's why getting mad is only okay when it's for a reasonable reason. Y'all have a good day.